Hello guys, in this video we are going to discuss the solution of implement A2I. So let us look at the problem statement. The problem statement says given a string s, the objective is to convert into integer format without utilizing any built-in functions. Refer the below steps to know about A2I function. So these are the steps which is given for A2I function, and this is exactly what we are going to implement as well. So for instance, if the number is minus 123, then we are going to return minus 123. So that's the problem statement, folks. Now let us discuss the solution of this problem. So to implement this function, we are going to follow the steps which are given in the question. The first thing which we are going to do is we are going to skip any leading white spaces, and then we are going to check whether it is a positive or a negative integer. And then we are going to convert this string into integer, and finally we are going to check whether this is greater than int max. If it is greater than int max, then we are going to return int max. Similarly, if it is lesser than int minimum, then we are going to return int minimum. And by doing so, we will be able to implement our A2I function. Now before discussing the pseudocode, folks, let us explore this step a little bit further. So let us say the string which is given to us is 123. Now how do we convert this 123 to integer 123? Please note, folks, this is a string. So in order to convert this into integer, what we are going to do is we are going to take an integer answer, and initial value of this integer is 0. And then we are going to set I is equals to 0, and we are going to iterate on the string. Now the first character is 1. So the first thing which we are going to do is we are going to convert this character into integer, and the way we are going to do this is we are going to perform order of s of I minus ord 0, and in this way this first character, which is 1, gets converted into integer. So now this digit is essentially an integer, and it contains over here 1. Now this 1 has to be used in the formation of our answer. So the way we are going to do this is essentially answer is equals to answer into 10 plus digit. So if we apply this formula, then answer for now will become equals to 1. So over here answer will be equals to 1 when I is at this position. Now when I is at this position, digit will be equals to 2, and answer will become answer into 10. So 1 into 10 plus digit, which is 2. So this becomes equals to 12, and answer becomes equals to 12. Finally, when I is at this position, digit becomes equals to 3, and our answer will get modified as 12 into 10 plus digit, which is 3 in this case. So this becomes 120 plus 3, which is equals to 123. And in this way, we will be able to convert a string to an integer. So that's one of the point I wanted to discuss over here, folks. Another point which I want to discuss is this. How do we determine whether the string given to us is going to exceed the boundaries of integer? So the way we will be able to do this is using this. So as you can see over here, answer is getting increased by 10. So for that reason, what we are going to do is before updating our answer, we are going to check whether answer is greater than int max by 10. If it is greater than int max by 10, then for sure the answer will be greater than the boundaries of integer. In such case, we can just return int max. Or it might be possible that answer is equals to int max by 10 and digit is greater than 7. So folks, if this is satisfied, then we know for sure that the number is exceeding the boundary of integer. In such case, we are going to return either int max or int minimum. Folks, I hope this part of the equation is clear. Let us discuss this part. So in the second part, we are checking whether answer is equals to integer of maximum. The max integer which we can have is this value. And if you see, the last digit is 7. That is why we are checking if digit is greater than 7. Till digit is less than 7, we will be able to accommodate it. If digit becomes greater than 7, then it is exceeding the boundary of integer. In such case, we are going to return either int max or int minimum. So that's the discussion of solution, folks. Now let us discuss the pseudocode of this problem. So let us say we want to implement a to I and an string is given to us. So for that, let's have I equals to 0. Whether the number is negative or not, for that is negative and default value is false. Answer equals to 0. Also, let us have int minimum and int max. So int max is equals to this value and int minimum is equals to this value. And then the first thing which we are going to do is we are going to skip any leading zeros. So let us do that. So for that, I is less than len of s and s of I equals to an empty space. In such case, all we have to do is we just have to increase our I by 1. Then we are going to check whether s of I equals to negative. If this is the case, then this is a negative integer and we are going to mark is negative to true. And we are going to increase our I by 1. And finally, we are going to convert the string to integer. So for that, while I is less than len of s and s of I is greater than or equals to 0 and s of I is less than or equals to 9. So if this is the case, then let us first convert the s of I to integer. So for that, digit is equals to ORD of s of I minus ORD of 0. And in this way, we will be able to convert s of I character to integer. And then let us check whether it is exceeding the boundary of integer or not. So for that, if answer is greater than int of max by 10 or answer is equals to int of max by 10 and digit is greater than 7. If either of these two conditions are satisfied, then we are going to return int minimum if it is a negative number. Otherwise, we are going to return int max. And towards the end, let us just convert string to integer. So for that, answer into 10 plus digit, and let us increase our I by 1. And then finally, we are going to check if it is a negative number. Then in such case, let us return minus answer. Otherwise, we are going to return answer. So that's the pseudocode, folks. Now let us see how we have implemented this in Python and C++. So first let us look at the Python implementation. Over here, I equals to 0, int max, int minimum, answer equals to 0 and is negative equals to false. We are skipping any leading white spaces and then we are checking whether it is a negative number. If it is a negative number, then we are setting is negative to true. Then we are iterating on the string. And the first thing which we are doing is converting the character si to integer, and we are checking whether the number is exceeding the boundary. If number is exceeding the boundary, then we are returning either int minimum or int maximum. Otherwise, we are converting string to number, and towards the end we are checking if it is a negative number, then we are returning minus answer. Otherwise, we are returning answer. So that's the Python implementation, folks. Now let us submit our solution. So our Python solution got accepted. Now let us look at the C++ implementation. So the C++ implementation is also the same, folks. Over here, answer equals to 0, is negative equals to false, I equals to 0. The first thing which we are doing is skipping any leading white spaces. Then we are checking whether this is a negative number. And then we are iterating on the string. The first thing which we did is we have converted s of I into integer. And then we are checking whether it is exceeding the boundaries of integer. If it is exceeding the boundary of integer, then we are returning either int minimum or int max. Otherwise, we are converting a string into integer, and towards the end we are either returning minus answer or answer. So that's the C++ implementation, folks. Now let us submit our solution. So our C++ implementation also got accepted. That is all from this video, folks. In case if you have any question or comment regarding this video, please feel free to use the comment section and I'll try to address them. Thank you.